Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, no matter where you are. It's time for the vibe, and you are here with me, Yvonne Miles, your host, as I like to think of myself, but also the founder of Vibrantly Living You. And Vibrantly Living You is a health and wellness movement, as I like to describe it, a movement that is dedicated to helping you achieve and claim health so vibrant. It's as though you're aging backwards. I say that because I think it's possible when you make those little lifestyle adjustments along the way that allow you to reap the benefits of feeling better, of living better, of loving better. And so that's why we show up each week, almost every week here, to share some new insights, to bring fascinating guests and topics, to create some new knowledge actually in the moment. That's happened a lot with me. I've gotten a lot of ahas that I can then apply back into my own life to feel better and to feel more vibrant and robust and healthy. And that's the invitation for you. So congratulations to you for taking a few minutes out of your day to swim, to take the swim into these waters. Before I go any further into our topic for today, I do want to tell you about and invite you again to a training that I have coming up with my friend and colleague, Anne Greenwald. We call it Leap into Vitality, 5 secrets to beat the aging slump and emerge into your best life. The best part about this training is it's free. That's the first thing I want you to know about it. It's free to sign up and it is totally free to attend. This training is definitely for you if you are worried about the effects of aging, if you pretty much accept what we've all been taught is about the process of aging and you're not quite okay with that. So if you worry about your balance and maybe falling as you get older, if you worry about or possibly are already experiencing inflammation and achy joints, maybe from improper alignment, or if you suffer from a lot of anxiety, have trouble sleeping, then this training is for you because we're going to share the best of our experience and our knowledge to help you find a way to sidestep those things and to improve your overall health no matter what age you are right now. Because I can tell you, the sooner you start, the better off you will be. At the same time, it's never too late. It's never too late to make a few simple changes that bring about more comfort, more ease, less pain, more joy, more happiness. As I said, it's totally free, but guess what? There's also a chance for you to win prizes that we are valuing at over $1,000. And that's for when you participate. So a couple of good things to love about this upcoming training. So it's beginning in less than 2 weeks, August 24th through the 27th. Think of it as a 4-day masterclass. We're going to be delivering it on Zoom, but also on Facebook. If you would like to participate in either one of those modalities, then we're going to make it easy for you. So August 24th through the 27th, only about an hour each day. To sign up for it, well, you need to sign up for it. That way we know you're coming and we can get you the information on where and when and how to find us. Feel free to invite your friends too, the more the merrier. There is a link on my page on here on Vibrantly Living You, also in the private group, Vibrantly Yours, to sign up. Just look for Leap into Vitality. We would just be delighted to have you. You can also go to my website, Vibrantly Living You website, which is www.vlivingyou, that's the letter u.com, www.thelivingyou.com. I've got a video out there that can tell you a little bit more about why we're doing this, and you can sign up there too. So I do invite you to do that. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's get back to the subject matter for today. As you may know, for the month of August, we have been focusing on the heart chakra. The heart chakra. Now, it's one of the 7 major chakras that correspond, all the chakras correspond to the energy body, the ethereal bodies, if you will. It corresponds with where there are major organs and glands in your body. So there's a lot of information and energy exchange going on in those places. So it's a good place to focus our attention for creating vibrant health. Understand your chakras, and you can take better care of your body, of your emotions, of your mental and your spiritual well-being. And you can use those the chakras as a guide, really, a guide to be able to pinpoint where energy might be blocked and find ways to release that blocked energy so it doesn't build up in the body, creating stress or toxins or disease. So it's a good ally, I guess. This knowledge of the chakras, a good ally. It's just another way for you to be able to claim health, peace, happiness, and joy, and ease in your life. So many lessons to be learned. So I know probably as you, if you've been following us along each week, and by the way, if you have, give us a little wave. You probably can describe exactly where the heart chakra is already on your own. But if you haven't been following us along, just let me say, think of it as this region of the chest. Okay. So yes, it's the heart, of course, but it's also the lungs. It extends all the way back to your spine. Remember, we're 3-dimensional beings. You can think of it like a halo around this part of your body. It also includes the upper shoulders, all the way up here. Your thymus gland, which sits just behind the sternum, even the very top part of your digestive system. So that's the physical region that we're referring to. Now, symbolically, the heart chakra is the seat of love, of compassion, of kindness toward yourself, but also toward others. And because it's in the middle of the 7 major chakras, it also symbolizes that connection between the physical body that can be represented by those 3 major chakras that sit below the heart chakra, but also then the emotional and the spiritual self, which are represented by the 3 major chakras that sit above the heart chakra. And each one of those chakras has a different relationship back to the heart chakra, which I just find so fascinating. We so often, we just think about health and being healthy as being just making sure our muscles are strong and our joints are flexible, or our muscles are flexible and our joints can move, and that is all that vibrant health is all about. But in truth, it's about the whole self, the emotions, the motivations, your mental state. And we want all of these things to be in balance. And the heart chakra is one way to remind ourselves, to find a way to balance the way we want to put ourselves out into the world with what's going on with our physical body. So it is also, you can also think of the heart chakra as representing unconditional love. Unconditional love for yourself and unconditional love for others and beyond. The focus for today It's really just fascinated me, really, truly, that we've been talking about the heart chakra since July, and yet there's still more to learn and more to be revealed. And so we're going to play in the space today of connection at that element that the heart chakra represents, connection to yourself, to the people around you, the people that you love or that are just in your life, but then even beyond, outside your community, and even beyond that. Because when you hold love in your heart for yourself and then your own well-being and your own health takes on a whole new dimension. You want to be healthy. You put that as a priority. You want to be healthy because you love yourself that deeply, and you want to be vibrant for yourself so that you can ripple. It does ripple out to the people around you, to your community, and outward. And so think of this ability to love authentically as being ripples of vibration. And that means that you are putting more love and more loving vibrations into the world around you. I know it sounds like such heady stuff. It's like, where is she going with this? Why isn't she just telling us to eat our vegetables and go out and go for a walk or something like that? Because it's just fascinating. And that is why I invited this very inspirational leader to join us today. She's going to walk us through the heart chakra connection, the heart and connection, and how to strengthen it from a even different, an even more fascinating perspective. We're going to compare and contrast some of the things we've been learning. And so I am just so pleased to be able to welcome Dr. Debbie Meitz to the Vibe today. Let me bring her on. Whoop, there we go, into our gallery mode. Hi,
Hi,
Debbie.
Yvonne.
Welcome. Let me tell you, everybody, a little bit about Dr. Debbie. Dr. Deborah Meitz practiced women's health and alternative medicine as a family physician. She has also studied meditation, Taoist feminine treasures, spirituality, sacred sexuality, and Tantra for many years with teachers from around the world. So you can see this starting to build this connection, this heart chakra connection. She's the woman who knows about connection. Deborah earned her medical degree from the University of Miami School of Medicine. And then after practicing in Key West for many years, which just sounds fantastic. I would love to be there. She relocated to the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm so envious, the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains, and currently lives in Asheville, North Carolina. So Debbie, welcome to the Vibe.
Oh, Yvonne, thank you so much. I'm honored and thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Like I said, we talked earlier this week, and I said you've been on my radar for a long time. I've been waiting for just that right time to bring you on, and I was so happy that our schedules worked out today, and for us to jump in and explore this concept of heart chakra and connection with your specialty into a little bit about Tantra, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But as I did say, you're a trained doctor. Are you still practicing? And can you tell us about your area of specialty if you have one?
Well, I'm not practicing medicine any longer. After many years of practicing and having a solo practice, I realized that it was time for a change, and that was about 12 years ago, something like that, maybe a little longer. But anyway, I finally had time on my hands after, making that change in my life. And I started to explore things that were important to me. And one of the things that's always been important to me is energy medicine, spirituality, and also sacred sexuality. And so I started to put some time and energy into that and found, oh my gosh, the energetic aspects of healing are so important and so undervalued and overlooked, really, in Western society.
Mhm.
And to be able to connect the sexual energy, realizing that is the fuel for all of the other energy that we run in our bodies, and that we could have a lot more healing, a lot more wellness and happiness and longevity, vitality, as well as spiritual enlightenment by learning how to tap into this deep well of energy inside of us that we call our sexual energy, but it's really the fuel for everything, and can be very important in healing the body, mind, emotions, and spirit.
Mm. There was a lot that you just said in that, a whole lot. Just it confirms for me that those of us who have stepped into this broader world of health, that we're on the right path, that for so long we have outsourced health to our doctors, to physicians.
Mhm.
And while this is not to take away from the remarkable work of healthcare providers, it does at least leave room and opening for us, all of us, you and me, us, our who's ever joining us today, us, to take more responsibility for our health. And so the very fact that you stepped away from the medical profession to be able to bring that perspective, both that trained Western ideal principles, along with this broader, um, uh, the broader topics of sexuality and health and healing, I think just speaks volumes on how important this is. So I just wanted to connect connect that a little bit. Yeah. And then also I love that you're talking about sexuality and sexual energy as healing energies and vibration. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so tell us a little bit about Tantra. Okay, for people who are not familiar with it, what is the connection there?
Yeah, many people will define Tantra in different ways. And so I think that it's like using a word like meditation. I
Mhm.
might have one idea about what that is, and pretty much everybody has their own sense of what that is. So um, there's probably as many definitions for Tantra, but basically the term Tantra yoga is a Sanskrit Indian term, ancient Indian term, that means the expansion of energy bodies through union. So the word Tantra kind of means to weave. So what we're weaving together is many different parts of ourselves. We're weaving our our mind, body, emotions, and spirit. We're weaving our inner masculine and inner feminine energies. We're weaving our sexual energy with our heart energy, and we're weaving and then it comes to a point where we are weaving, when appropriate, our energies with that of a beloved partner. So it's about expanding through this union,
Mhm.
and how your energy body, your every part of yourself energetically can expand through having union with this, with all of it, but specifically in the area of sexuality, we can have this when we bond our sexual energy to our spirituality. So for me, that is the simplest way to describe what Tantra is
Mm.
integration of sexuality and spirituality for expansion, development, and for realizing our full potential as human beings.
Oh, that sounds to me like vibrant living.
Yes, it does.
Being vibrant, bringing a
Totally.
whole new energy to
Yes.
vibrant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a, I really like that definition, that integration, that connection of
Mhm.
spiritual, or excuse me, sexual energy and spiritual energy for
Yeah,
that sense of expansion. And expansion is growth, right?
absolutely.
Expansion and growth. Okay. So before we go a little bit more, I'm just curious, what is it that led you into this work?
Well, I went into a healing journey for myself regarding the area of sexuality. Earlier in my life, I had had some sexual trauma. And over the years, although I had accomplished many things that I was very proud of, including being a medical doctor, there was this part of myself that I felt was not healed, and that I was disconnected from my sexual energy. And that's something that um, I made a decision that I really wanted to heal all the parts of me, but that was one of the very important parts that I really wanted to resolve before I left this earth.
Mm,
And so I started to dedicate a lot of energy to that part of my healing journey.
mhm.
And what I got back was so tremendous that I realized that I really want to and need to. I feel compelled to share this with other people
Mm.
um, because who want to heal sexually, but also people who just want to grow energetically and spiritually, and who are interested in their own personal growth and expansion.
Mm,
So the one thing kind of led to another, but I'm very grateful that I discovered this path because
mm.
it changed me so much that
Oh,
I felt like, yeah, it gave me myself back, parts of myself that I had been disconnected and forgotten about, or
uh-huh.
learned to live without. I realized I didn't have to. So after that, I became much more expressive, much more open, much more loving, um, and more alive. And that is a
Oh,
tremendous gift
it
that I
is.
wasn't expecting.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I know you have a program you're going to tell us about a little later on, but I'll be honest, I wish I could get into that program right now. If any of you listening, or if you're watching the replay on this, if any of what she just said resonated to you, if you feel as though maybe you could be disconnected, maybe well, I don't know, maybe a little wave or something out there, thumbs up, if this is of interest to you. We can certainly, Dr. Debbie, bring you back to go a little bit more into that. But for right now, since I brought you here to talk more specifically about the heart chakra, and I know you have a different way of thinking about the heart chakra. We have been focusing on the heart itself and the lungs. Is there, does that show up as well in the tantric practice? Do heart and lungs also relate in the tantra to healthy and vibrant living?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, there are many different lineages that have studied and made practice of Tantra, of the basic theory of integrating sexual energy and spirituality. Um, but in particular, so the ancient Indian tantric formations or practices were really all about devotion and love and energy and bonding um, with the divine, as well as with a partner, if a partner is in your life, but also connecting devotionally to the deepest parts of oneself, the divine parts of who we are. Because I believe that we are elements, emanations of the divine that is in all things. So the Taoist or ancient Chinese perspective on Tantra and on many other things as well, has to do with the 5 element theories. And in that sense, the heart and the lungs are both 2 very important parts of the 5 element theory. So, I mean, we could spend days, people spend lifetimes studying this and perfecting it, but it has to do with, in Taoist belief systems, the heart is the most imperial of all of the organs, and that it rules the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. And it's also the most powerful, has the most powerful magnetic field of all of the organs in our body. So we're going to talk a little more about magnetic fields in a minute and how that relates to the heart. And then there are many different ways for expressing the heart, the energy of the heart. So the heart itself is actually connected to the fire element. So I could go off for quite a long time talking about that, but basically I can show you a slide that might help to help this to make a little bit more sense.
Okay.
So
All
let me
right. While
do
she's
that.
bringing up that slide, I just want to point out that she's talking about the Taoist side, which comes from ancient Chinese, and she also mentioned Sanskrit and the chakras that we've been dealing with. That the definition that I've been laying out for you over the last months have been from the chakra, from Sanskrit, so more
Mhm.
from ancient Indian practices. And what I love about how we both showed up today is that in the color associated in the Sanskrit version of the heart chakra is green, and I'm rocking the green today.
You
And,
are. That's beautiful.
and in the Taoist, it is the red for
Yes.
fire, and Dr. Deb is rocking the red, and I've got
I'm rocking the red today in
and I got
honor of
yeah, and I got some
Heart
red
Chakra
here.
Day.
Yeah, I've got some red in my vase here, so we're all connected. We're all connected.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Let's
Now,
see. So
are you seeing my slide right now?
I'm only seeing the top part of your slide.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
It's partially cut off, only about halfway
Mhm.
through.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure
Then
out.
what I might do,
Is that on your website? No, it's
no, it's not. Let me just try something. I was having a little trouble with one of my slides here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share for a moment. But let's just talk about this for a minute. And then I can I'll get this going again. All right, let's try that. Okay, are you seeing anything there yet?
no,
No.
no, no, just
All
you're
right.
not sharing the screen right now.
No, I'm not. You're absolutely right. Okay. So, all right, how is that? Are you seeing that?
Yes, now I see the whole
Okay,
thing.
great.
Yes.
Okay, so
Ooh,
yeah,
beautiful.
so yes, because the heart is all about the fire element. And what people don't know, and I'll just do a really quick description about the 5 elements. So each element in nature, so we've got the metal element, we've got the earth element, the fire element. I'm gonna just, here we go. So we've got the metal element, and the metal feeds the water element, which actually relates to the kidneys, feeds the wood element in nature as well as in our bodies. So the wood element happens to be the trees and represents the liver, the plant kingdom, and our body's liver. And then our wood element actually feeds the fire element. And then which relates to our heart and our small intestine in our body. And the fire element, if you think about it, fire, when it burns the wood, and fire the ash of what's left after the fire feeds the actual earth element. And in the earth element, the metals are formed. So this is how nature works together in what we call a creation cycle. The other thing I want to say is, though, each element is associated with an organ in the body, with a set of imbalanced emotions, with also a set of virtuous properties as well. It's associated with a season of the year, a time of day, a color, animals in nature. It even goes into the cosmic, with stars and planetary representations, which we're not going to go into, of course, today. But if you think about the element of fire and what that brings, one of the things that's most associated with the heart, as we've talked about before, is unconditional love and acceptance, compassion, respect, honor, and a sense of connection and belonging. And this is one of the things that we really want to promote in our lives, because there's the energetic aspect of the heart. There's the physical functioning of the heart, but it goes way beyond that. So this is how the Taoists looked at the heart specifically. The lungs are actually associated with the metal element. And there's a whole different set of emotions, of imbalanced emotions, and also virtues and properties that are desirable. And when we have each of these elements in balance within ourselves, we have a working whole. Part of the work that I do is actually to cleanse any negative energies, any old stagnant chi or life force energy outside and out of the organ, so that we can have more freedom and liberation in terms of our inner state. We can have peace, vitality, joy. So that's one of the things I think is very important. And so when we've got this balance inside of ourselves accomplished, then that translates into the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, and the spiritual level. So sexual energy is just one part of that, but I think a very important part of our life force energy.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Very, very, very important. I love that these can be different and the same at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about the lungs, you talk about the element being wood, and right,
In the lungs, it's actually metal. In the
metal.
liver, it's wood. But yes, the lungs are associated with the metal element.
Okay, lungs metal. Okay, lungs metal.
Yes.
And what we've been exploring the lungs as being, it's been that element is of air, of air and expansion. And then, as I said before, well, for the heart, it's also considered air.
Yes.
And you bring the fire from the Taoist, and
Right.
yet both of those ways of thinking about the heart chakra or the heart region and those organs is still leading toward peace,
Yes.
toward joy, toward expansion and vitality, toward unconditional love. And kind. I love how it can be they're still getting to the same point.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because the Taoist and the ancient Indian Tantrika, lineages started about 5,000 years ago. And although there are some significant differences when you get down into the detail, they really fit perfectly together. The chakra system in the tantric lineage, as well as the microcosmic orbit and some of the other maps for energy movement in the body, they actually line up together perfectly. And it's about ultimately achieving balance and energizing oneself in all of the parts of who we are, which allows us to have wholeness, depth, height, and really manifest our magnificence on this planet. These are very powerful paths for personal development and for
Mm-hmm.
realizing, as I said before, our potential as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more to who we are aside from the physical. And I spent many, many, many years studying all of that. And it's really nice to be able to add in the energetic principles that allow us to grow even more
Mm.
and realize our spiritual nature as well, because that's a really important part of, I mean, I think that's ultimately the most important part of well-being. But the body allows us to experience this. Our bodies are vehicles for experience that we can have for realization of higher truths,
Mm-hmm.
and to be really balanced emotionally, mentally, physically, and be all we truly are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Wholeness. Um, the energetic, the energetic principles. One of the reasons that I chose to name my business Vibrantly Living You was because it's about vibration. Energy is vibration, and I wanted to bring that concept of vibration into consciousness about living well, that requires a heightened vibration. You brought something else up when we were speaking the other day, when we were talking about how the heart chakra connects to different chakras, and in particular what you've brought to us today is that the heart chakra, that energy, there's a connection to the sexual
Mhm.
organs, and then that creates even greater vibration. Can you tell us a little more about what you did
Yeah,
that?
I'd love to. In fact, I'd love to share a slide that I've got
Oh,
on this
good.
as well. So, um, because I don't know, I tend to be a visual learner. Are you able to see that slide?
Yes, I see it again.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so talking about prospering and radiation, the fruit and the flowers of the plants are actually the sexual parts, the reproductive parts of the plant. I think it's really easy to forget about that. That these just are, things out there that grow stuff. This is the reproductive elements. Compassion, does generate from the heart, and the heart itself has 37 different layers of magnetic field. And we can energize our hearts to strengthen the energies of the heart and purify our hearts, as we can do with all of our organs. And that's a big part of what Taoist practice is all about, is a cleansing energetically. But thinking about compassion and heart, we have a lot of different spiritual images in different cultures about that. So you have goddesses, Mother Mary, Jesus was love in action, and taught so much about love. That was the whole point of everything he did. The Taoist and the Buddhists, they have a Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. So there's a lot of ways that we can learn to tap into the deep compassion that lives inside of us. And these are some interesting things. When we combine, we spread the energy that we're creating in our bodies. We connect to the heavens, we connect to the earth, to people around us, and we have an energetic interaction there, which is very important and very valuable. But this is a scientific fact that not too many people know, that when you combine love, unconditional love and compassion with the energy of sexual arousal and orgasm, you actually change the vibrational frequency at which you are living and functioning. So this is like this love vibration, I call it, but this frequency can be measured at 8 hertz. Interestingly, that is very, very close to the Schumann resonance, which was a scientist named Schumann measured the energetic frequency of the earth itself. And that is 7.83 hertz. So they're almost exactly the same. So we combine our sexual energy, the energies of arousal and orgasm, with unconditional love and compassion, we are vibrating at the same frequency as the earth itself. I find that to be absolutely fascinating.
I do too. That is mind blowing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is mind blowing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And so, I think that's something that it's unfortunate that that doesn't get talked about more. So here's like a visual on this. When you've connected your heart and your sexual organs, you are putting out a vibrational field around you that affects everyone and everything that you come in contact with. It also changes and heals you. So it's really so powerful. And this is another pictorial sort of description of what happens with the electromagnetic field of the heart. And this isn't only during sexual situations. This is about changing and growing spiritually, in terms of your values and what is important to you, so that we are putting out this is like called a torus or a toroidal field, where the energy comes up through the center of our bodies and vibrates out into a field around us. And here's another diagram I really like about that. So you've got, but the heart, in fact, has its own electromagnetic field in addition to your entire being. So I really love looking at this.
yes. It's all about the heart. It starts with the heart. I love, it goes back to what I said at the beginning about how it connects. And it's not just about the heart, it's about what it's doing to connect outwards. And these diagrams show that, and it shows it how it starts from the center.
Yes.
Radiating, and you showed a couple of different illustrations, one where it's radiating out, in a sense, in a horizontal plane all around with these lobes,
Yes.
but then also in this vertical plane, you're shooting up and
Yeah.
all the way out, showering down.
Exactly. It's 3-dimensional and it's 360 degrees around us. So it's like, if you thought about it, it's like being in the middle of a huge donut.
Yeah, a donut of love,
Exactly.
a donut of unconditional love. Oh, that is
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
So
Yeah.
when we combine these, we've got this going on, and this becomes a new compass for us, because we are tuned into the energy of love and aliveness.
Yes. Okay. At this point, we're only seeing a part of that screen, but I
Oh,
do feel like we need to move on.
that's okay. We'll stop the share. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It just gives me, makes me very excited.
Yes.
Makes me
Yes.
very excited. Yeah. So, I know that in Tantra, a lot of times that's about especially when we're talking sexual energy, we're usually talking about that in relationship to somebody else. Do you have to be in a partnership in order to be able to experience what we've been talking about?
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, it begins with a connection to your own centers, your own chakras, and about connection to your deepest self. That's how Tantra education really begins. And then, if people come together, that's a beautiful thing too. And then it multiplies the energy dramatically as well. But it's very, very powerful to do this connection within yourself.
Mm.
And in fact, I do have a short little meditation, if you would like me to share it, because I think it really helps us to get an experience about connecting our hearts with our sexual organs, and our hearts with all of the other chakras and centers in the body.
Yeah, I think it's important. We've been talking about a lot of, heady stuff. I think it's
Mhm.
important to bring it back into the body and to create an experience that people know how to apply this. So, yes, please share it. Everybody,
Wonderful.
yes.
Okay, so I'd like to invite you. So this is going to be an opportunity to explore yourself in a deeper way, and just be open and accept what comes up. Um, if you feel like you need to, talk about this, I'm available for complimentary consultations. So if this brings something up for you, I don't want you to feel like you've got nowhere to go with that. So I wanted to say that from the beginning. I think that's the doctor in me that kind of has to say that stuff. Um, but I want to invite you to close your eyes and to feel a beam of light coming into your crown center, to the top of your head, and then moving down into your sixth chakra, your brain, where your pituitary gland and hypothalamus are, and then down through your throat chakra, and then into your heart. Feel this unconditional love from the heavenly realm beating in your heart, radiating, loving, unconditional love, acceptance, a sense of belonging, compassion, joy, and connection. So I want you to put one hand on your heart and just feel into this powerful love connection here. And I invite you to put one hand over your sexual organs. And I invite you to, with your breath, bring your energy from your heart, send this love down into your sexual organs. The Taoists think of this as a smile sometimes, and that's helpful. So if you were sending a loving smile to your sexual organs, and as you breathe, let your breath move back and forth between your heart and your sexual organs. And this is for people of all genders. And as you send love and appreciation to your sexual organs, allow your sexual organs to send sexual energy back up into your heart. And I invite you to just inhale and exhale naturally, but moving the energy between your sexual organs and your heart, just reestablishing the connection and the relationship. Allowing yourself to feel these very sacred parts of who you are. Again, infusing your sexual organs with unconditional love and appreciation. And infusing your heart with sacred sexual energy and vitality. And I invite you from the position of your heart to tune into your sexual organs and to ask your sexual organs if there's anything that they would like to say to your heart. And whatever that is, accept that as the communication. And thank your sexual organs for expressing their truth to you. And now ask your heart if your heart has anything you would like to say to your sexual organs. And just let this energy move between your heart and your sexual organs. Let there be an honest, authentic communication, conversation, and connection. And whatever your heart has to say, thank your heart for expressing its truth. And just again, let your energy move, let your breath move freely between your heart and your sexual organs. And let this be the beginning of a dialogue between these two very sacred, precious parts of who you are. And I invite you to do this every day if you'd like, for the next week or so, even if you spend a few minutes before bed or upon rising, and see how this affects your experience of your sexuality and your own vibrance. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the room.
Oh, thank you, Deb, for that. Debbie, thank you, thank you. Thank you. A
You're
couple of
so
things,
welcome.
yeah, a couple of things that my mental mind wanted to process was the concept of a smile.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, just the
yeah,
energy can just be the energy of a smile.
yes.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you said you can do this, recommend inviting people to do this every day, because that also um, tapped into the thought that I had that you don't have to experience anything in the moment.
Right,
Like what you just walked us through, you don't have to experience anything. It could come later in tomorrow or the next day, or it could come later on in the afternoon. It doesn't
sure.
have to drop in the moment. It doesn't mean, oh, I didn't do it right, or this doesn't work for me. It just means the gift is still the gift is still on its way.
Absolutely, Yvonne. And you touched on something really important. We are cultivating our sexual energy. We're cultivating the energy of our hearts.
Hmm.
This is something that's like cultivating a garden. You give it the nourishment, the nutrition, the water, all of the things that it needs. And this relationship also becomes cultivated. It's
Hmm.
very sacred and very special. And especially for women, trust is an essential part of our ability to open up to our sexual energy.
Hmm.
Most of us have abandoned in one way or another ourselves.
Hmm.
And we're coming back to a place of reconnection and trust and love so that we can build something beautiful and strong that you can rely on inside of yourself. This practice goes many other places. This is just the initial part of a much larger practice.
Yeah.
But even after I work with people for even 6 months of time or even a year, they always come back and say, it's that first foundational energetic connection between the heart and the sexual organs that starts everything and is at the basis of all of the other growth and experience that we do. So
Hmm.
it's so powerful, so simple as well. I mean, it's like, gee, why didn't I think of that myself?
Yeah. And
We just
thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that foundational practice for us. Very foundational. I can see in its simplicity, very foundational. And we're gonna unbelievably, we have come to the end of our program, or we are nearing the end of the program. But I just wanted to say that it, in going through this and listening to your very soothing voice, I was thinking, I wonder how would one describe sexuality? And I'm just going to guess that is, or sexual energy, sexuality. I'm just going to guess that is what you really go into in your group program. So, you want to tell us anything more about how people could get more of what you just teased us with?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. So you can reach me on my website, and the website is tantradoctor.com. So it's TANTRADOCTOR.com. And there's a few things I have there. So I do have a complimentary 20-minute sacred sexual vitality breakthrough session that you can actually schedule online at my website, so that if you're interested in exploring this more, we can have a conversation and look at what your goals are, any obstacles that you have, and what your ultimate intentions are. We can develop a mini plan for how to get there. But I also have a 6-month program for women only. And this is we're actually just getting started. You can still join for the next few weeks. I think September 3rd, I believe, is the last day that one can join. And at that point, then we will close the circle. But it's called Reclaim Your Sacred Sexual Vitality.
Oh, oh, look, there it is. I went
Yes.
ahead and brought up the website. We will add a link into Vibrantly Living You so that you can find this. But I thought for anybody who's watching the replay and isn't on
Mm,
Facebook, then this is what you will be seeing at
yes.
tantradoctor.com. And yeah, up until September 1, if you want to get into this, if you have some healing, or you just want to grow and expand this wonderful concept of connecting, tapping into sexual energies for health, to create more love and more unconditional love, then Dr. Debbie Meitz is the person for you. And please follow up with that. Debbie, thank you so much. You just make this so warm and inviting and fascinating. And I so appreciate you taking the time and sharing your wisdom with us here today.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you for having me, and letting me get a glimpse into your world as well. And it's been a joy to share mine with you. So thank you.
You're so welcome. And I end up saying this to all my guests, and I really do mean it. I want to have you back. I want to have you back. We're going to find a way to bring you back. Okay, folks, I know this has taken, we're just a tiny little bit over our usual just under our format, but I really felt that this information needed, this perspective, this knowledge needed a little bit more room to land. And so I do hope you'll appreciate that. So let me tie things up very quickly with, of course, we have to mention the Tantra, the chakra food and the chakra move of the week for you to focus on. So before the food, I learned about something. Hey, and I learned this from one of our community members. Believe it or not, I'd never heard of farro before, or farro, F-A-R-R-O. It is a grain. And according to the Mayo Clinic, farro is a good source of fiber, iron, protein, and magnesium. And so it provides a lot of health benefits for if you are suffering from diabetes, but also for your heart health and for brain health. So I decided heart health, that qualifies as a chakra food. You want to have balanced levels of iron in your body, because if you have too much or too little iron in your body, it can cause problems either way. Your heart really cannot function without iron. It is needed to make hemoglobin, which delivers oxygen to the cells of your body and also into the muscles. And your most significant muscle of your body is the heart. And we learned a lot of that from Dr. Debbie today, even just from the energetic standpoint, let alone the physical standpoint. So if you've never tried farro before, give it a whirl. You may need to go to a health food store to find it. I know you're going to enjoy it just as I did. It's got this kind of chewy texture and a nutty flavor to it. It's very versatile. So farro is your chakra food for the week. Your chakra move of the week is something called the puppy pose. It looks a whole lot like, let me just tell you how to do it, and you can figure out what it looks like. Oh, it looks like a puppy. That's what it looks like. So, so like a puppy, you start from all fours. So of course you want your wrists to be directly under your shoulders. You're on the floor, obviously. And then walk your hands forward and stretch your arms out long on the mat or the floor until your forehead or your chin or your chest meets the floor, whatever's most comfortable for you. Only go as far as comfortable for you. Never push any of these to a point of discomfort or uneasiness, but find a comfortable, safe challenge for your body. You want to keep your hips high over your knees and pull your front ribs inward to lengthen your whole spine. And then if you can, take 3 breaths, nice inhalation, exhalation. And then when you're ready, return to your all four position. This is going to help open up the shoulders and the upper back. And it's going to promote strength and that concept of surrender. Surrender is important when you're in a loving relationship, also with yourself. Acceptance, you heard Dr. Debbie talk about acceptance. Surrender requires a certain level of acceptance, or acceptance requires a certain level of surrender. I said that exactly backwards. So give yourself a little change up with the puppy pose. Okay, now, quick another reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we have a training call coming up. It's called Leap into Vitality. I'm doing it with my friend and colleague Anne Greenwald, August 24th to the 27th. We like to say, this is Anne came up with this, I think it's so appropriate, that life is full of challenges that we do not sign up for. We don't sign up for. So why not get yourself prepared for those challenges that you don't sign up for by signing up for our challenge, being proactive? Because we're going to talk about some things that really do come into play. They really do come into play as life happens to you. That has to do with the way you balance yourself, the way you nourish and move yourself, the way you walk through your life, the way you deal with stress and anxiety. And we're going to share the best of our experience with you in Leap into Vitality, 5 secrets to beat the aging slump and emerge into your best life. emerge into your best life. We'll apply so much of what we've been talking about here. Anne and I actually will be back next week on the Vibe, and we'll explore a little bit about why this is important to you. As always, just as Debbie invited you to connect with her in a breakthrough session, from that broader standpoint of vibrant health, I also invite you, or similarly, it's not even broader, it's a similar way. I invite you to, let's get to know each other and book a Vibrant for Life breakthrough session with me. Totally complimentary, 30 minutes, a chance to explore what are your goals? What do you want for yourself? What's in the way? And if there's a simple tip I can give to you to help you move you one step further along on your healing journey, then I'm up for it. I'm up for it, and I hope you will be too. You can find a link to sign up for a Vibrant for Life breakthrough session on my website, www.vlivingyou, that's the letter u.com, vlivingyou.com. And lastly, if you're not a member of our private community, Vibrantly Yours, our Facebook community, you are cordially invited to join. You get some free recipes out there, and sometimes we've got replays of content, training content that is only for the eyes of our community. Plus, you get to be in community. You can find a sign up link once again on my website, vlivingyou.com. Oh my gosh, what a waterfall of information. I feel so energized. I get to this point, it's like, I hate to end, but we have to end. Everybody's got to get on with their day. I do hope to see you in either next week's Vibe and also in Leap into Vitality, August 24th through 27th. Once again, Dr. Debbie, thank you for joining, and let us stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Everybody, until the next time, remember that a vibrant life is yours for the taking. So reach out and grab it. Bye for now.